Coming up on Mountain News this morning, officials across the country are dealing with new orders to prevent illegal immigration. And one TikTok content creator is speaking out on how the app helps them share the beauty of Appalachia.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. My name is Amelia Lee. On this beautiful Friday morning, it is January 24th. The time is 6:28, so we are just marching toward that 6:30 mark. We're also at the time to check in with our friend meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at that forecast. Megan, I've got that Friday feeling now. Very excited because it's going to be a good day.
It is going to be a good day. I don't know if I'd say it's a beautiful Friday because it's still cold, but we're making our way up there. Those temperatures are getting warmer, getting back to normal as we're heading into this week. And let's take a look at those current temperatures. We're in the 20s and the upper teens. Now, this is kind of on par for what we normally expect this time of year. Normally, we're in the upper 20s for that overnight low, so not too far off. And as we head into the afternoon, though, that's where we see that the temperatures won't be warming up as much as we saw yesterday. We're looking in the low to mid 30s. Normally, this time of year, we are in the mid 40s. Which is a little bit warmer than that, of course, but we will get to those temperatures as we're heading into the next couple days. Let's take a look at satellite and radar, though, because we do see some snow chances. Now, for the most part, this is just very light snow, just some flurries, a snowflake or two. Little to no accumulation could be expected for today, but we'll continue to see that for quite a bit of time as we're heading into the afternoon hours, even in some locations. Next 12 hours, though, here's what you can expect. We'll still have those snow chances tapering off as we're heading into the evening, with the snow peaking out a little bit as we're heading into the midday hours. High temperatures around 4 o'clock. Amelia?
All right, Megan, thank you. Federal efforts to stop illegal immigration are broadening. Executive orders President Donald Trump signed Monday are playing out in courts or in action. Now his administration is turning to federal agencies. Amy Kiley reports on some of their new policies.
It will not sway our commitment to serving the most vulnerable.
The Trump administration is using empowerment and intimidation to stem illegal immigration. A new Homeland Security directive lets more federal agencies identify and arrest people in the country unlawfully. It applies to the FBI, DEA, ATF, and more. Meanwhile, the Justice Department is threatening to prosecute officials who protect so-called sanctuary cities. 11 attorneys general and the ACLU call that unconstitutional. President Donald Trump's border czar argues it would make the country safer and reduce collateral arrests.
When you release a public safety threat out of a sanctuary jail, when we find him, he may be with others. Others that don't have a criminal conviction but are in the country illegally. They will be arrested too.
The administration also is allowing ICE agents to make arrests in places like schools and churches.
If they're willing to do this, it means no one is safe. We're not safe. The community is not safe. Human rights aren't safe.
Advocates urge Trump to see how immigrants contribute to the economy as customers.
The amount of people they're seeing is just going down drastically.
And as workers.
If they continue to be scared and missing work because they feel they're going to get deported, it will show up at our dinner table. If you think we have an issue with inflation, this will put it on steroids.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And President Trump's pick for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is headed towards a final vote in the Senate today. The former Fox News host narrowly passed a procedural vote Thursday, with Republican Senators Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska joining Democrats in voting no. CBS News confirmed Hegseth disclosed to senators during his vetting process that he paid $50,000 to the woman who accused him of sexual assault in 2017. He denies any wrongdoing. Governor Andy Beshear spoke at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland yesterday. It's his final day at the summit. In a video post on social media, the governor says he's talked with employers with an international presence about Kentucky jobs and possible expansions.
Still amazing that we were personally invited to talk about how we've broken every economic development record in the books, that all of these companies from around the world want to hear our story, an opportunity to bring back more jobs and more prosperity. I am so proud to represent us.
Governor Beshear says he played up his administration's new Kentucky Home Initiative as he worked to draw attention to the bluegrass state. Chinese company ByteDance is on the clock as it prepares for a potential internal sale. Let's start from the beginning on where this all started. In 2024, Congress passed legislation requiring TikTok's Chinese parent company to sell to a U.S. company or face a ban. After now, former President Biden signed it into law, the Supreme Court upheld the ban, setting a deadline of January 19th, 2025. On January 18th, TikTok went dark in the U.S., leaving millions of users without access. The app was restored shortly thereafter, coming back online for many on January 19th. In the days since, President Donald Trump signed an executive order granting a 75-day extension, allowing the app to resume operations while discussions continue. With more than 170 million Americans on TikTok, the proposed ban is sparking a nationwide debate, with concerns over national security clashing against issues of free speech and economic impact. WYMT's Caroline Mueller brings us perspectives from both a Kentucky U.S. Senator and a TikTok creator from Appalachia.
Allie Abney is a mom from Eastern Kentucky, making a living on TikTok. She says the platform changed everything for her.
TikTok took me from being a stay-at-home mom with absolutely no income, struggling living on, welfare and stuff, to now I would make more money than I ever have.
With nearly 500,000 followers, Abney shares stories about Appalachian folklore, connecting with audiences around the world and breaking negative stereotypes about the region.
It's a really great outlet to be able to share the beauty of Appalachia. It's been amazing to be able to do that, really, and hear people be like, wow, I didn't know that Appalachia wasn't just a bunch of rednecks, but it's not. It's beautiful. The scenery here is just unmatched. Kentucky is a heaven kind of place, and the beauty deserves to be shared.
U.S. Senator Dr. Rand Paul joined TikTok days before it went dark as a form of civil disobedience, gaining hundreds of thousands of followers in a single day. He argues that banning the platform could set a dangerous precedent, citing concerns about government overreach and freedom of speech.
I don't think that the First Amendment has an exception for national security. I don't think, if that's true, what they'll do is every time they try to limit our speech, they'll say, well, it's for national security. And it's like, well, what does that mean? Why is it for national security? I don't feel my national security is threatened by TikTok.
For both Paul and creators like Abney, the stakes of a TikTok ban extend far beyond the app itself.
Banning part of speech is a disaster for a country. So it may not be popular in Washington, but I'm going to continue to speak out against the TikTok ban.
Paul encourages folks who are concerned about losing the app to make their voices heard by reaching out to your representatives. Caroline Mueller, WYMT Mountain News.
While the future of TikTok remains uncertain, creators like Allie Abney are hopeful their voices will be heard. Meanwhile, Senator Paul has introduced bipartisan legislation to repeal any potential ban, emphasizing the importance of free speech. A Kentucky lawmaker is introducing a bill to require all school districts in the state to adopt a policy affecting student cell phone usage. Representative Josh Bray from Mount Vernon filed House Bill 208. Under the bill, schools would have to adopt a policy prohibiting the use of cell phones during instructional times, besides emergency situations. Bray says cell phone usage not only causes classroom distractions, but also a decline in students' mental health. The nationwide shortage of dentists is affecting doctors and patients of rural areas in eastern Kentucky. The shortage of providers is causing a backup in dentist schedules, making it difficult for patients to be seen and dentists to get caught up. The owner of Farmers Pediatric Dentistry in London says adults are seeking care at his pediatric office. He says small problems like cavities are leading to bigger issues due to long wait times.
I almost wonder if it's a borderline public health crisis in rural eastern Kentucky.
He says his practice is doing what they can to take care of their patients to one day to prevent more office visits in the future. He encourages students who are interested in dental school to move somewhere they are needed, like rural areas in eastern Kentucky. The cold start of the new year will directly affect your electric bill coming next month. Low temperatures may make heating your home more difficult this year than in years past. Daniel Lowry with Kentucky Utilities says this week set an all-time record high in energy demand for the company. He says you are probably going to pay more than usual because you simply used more electricity to keep your home warm.
Weather, it's really the #1 factor, that and your energy use behind your electric bill.
Lowry says if you are curious about how much energy you use this month, you can look at your usage, but if you don't want to do that much work, he says when you get your bill, it will have a graph on there that shows you just how much energy you used this month compared to others. In Whitley County, a man pleaded not guilty to murder. Brian Randall appeared in court last week. According to police, Randall and Richard Cox got into a fight over dogs. Police later found Cox near a dumpster. Randall remains in the Whitley County Detention Center on a $1 million bond. A pretrial hearing was scheduled for 9 on Monday morning. Kentucky State Police are investigating a shooting in Pike County. It happened in the Huddy area. When troopers arrived at the Forest Trace Apartments, they discovered that Carson Jones shot Chad Hurley. Hurley was taken to a hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Jones is facing several charges, including assault. Police arrested an attorney in Williamsburg after they say he reportedly failed a preliminary breath test. James Wren II was charged with public intoxication. In an arrest citation, the Whitley County Sheriff says Wren appeared to be falling asleep in Whitley County District Court. Other attorneys say Wren smelled of alcohol. Wren reportedly told police he had a glass of wine yesterday morning after drinking Wednesday night. A new initiative in Frankfort is trying to raise awareness about human trafficking in Kentucky. Secretary of State Michael Adams launched the initiative by working with business owners and human trafficking survivors, resource and training experts. The new effort will give businesses a specialized packet to help train employees to recognize the signs of domestic abuse and human trafficking.
We're still watching on satellite and radar as the snow is coming into eastern Kentucky. We started seeing that yesterday afternoon, and as we're looking right now, some more snow is coming towards Wayne County in Kentucky. We'll continue to watch as it's moving through eastern Kentucky all day long, starting to see that taper off as we're heading to the afternoon hours. But let's talk about those forecast highs for today. Now, we are starting colder in the 20s and upper teens, but we will be getting to the low to mid 30s, seeing some places seeing those 20s, 28 in Wise, 26 in Moorhead, and 29 in Irvin. Now, if you are heading off to the bus stop this morning, here is what you can expect. 25 degrees with cloudy skies, some places seeing the snow chance. And by the time you're heading home, those temperatures will warm up into the highs in the low 30s. Again, seeing a little bit of that snow chance and the sun starting to peek out. Stay with us. More mountain news and weather is on the way.